he's the artist. I just sat back and let him have the stage and tried to be funny. I'm not sure how that worked, but I think
you were.
It worked. Your session was very popular.
Okay, good. So this year, I actually, in a weird way, I was inspired by what was happening around the world, the pandemic. And here in the US, where I'm at, I'm involved in the fight against the pandemic, trying to get poor people tested and bring them affordable testing. And so when I was invited back to this conference, I started to think about the war of ideas that was taking place all over the world. And if any of you have been watching what's been going on in the US with the war of ideas, it's been a shit show. And I was fascinated by how polarizing something like this could be. And that inspired this talk. So what I'm going to be talking about is how to make ideas spreadable and contagious.
So when you say contagious, oh, no, go ahead, Raul.
No, go on, Ruth, go on.
No, I wanted to ask, when you say contagious, what can people actually expect? Will you be teaching them how because there has to be a link with their business eventually. So will you also be teaching them how they can create ideas that will ultimately help them increase brand awareness, increase sales, or will it focus on a specific part of marketing?
Yeah, so it will be about how to increase sales by spreading ideas. So I'll cover the anatomy of an idea that spreads. I'll talk about how to give that to an audience that will spread it to you. And then in the end, we'll talk about the actual creative portion of it.
Okay.
Is it very difficult in a polarized world to do this, because people are getting extremer and extremer? So how do you find a way to reach both extreme parties with a single idea?
That's a great question. So it depends on what sort of idea you're spreading. And one of the core concepts of what I'm going to talk about is that no matter how boring or exciting your product is or your service is, you're not actually selling that product or service. You're not even selling the pain that it will help cure. I think what we're really selling is an idea around what happens to me if I accept that product. How does my status change? Is it elevated or stabilized by accepting this service? And so you asked about how do I pick audiences in a polarized world. I think it's my belief that most of us need to go towards the smallest possible audience that will fall completely in love with whatever idea you're selling. And that's who we go to first. So that the ideas that we spread are going to be different depending on who that idea is for.
Oh, great approach. Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely excited for your session, Jay. I can't miss that. I need to free up some time so I can attend. But I think it's time to listen to Sheetal now, because she's been listening, she's been nodding and agreeing a lot with Jay. But I've kind of been fangirling, because emotional intelligence, what is that? And how is there a link with marketing?
Well, you'd be surprised. There's a huge link. And based on what Jay says, when he's talking about ideas, the reason I'm nodding is because I recognize this. And a lot of this has to do with emotional intelligence. So basically, emotional intelligence is recognizing, understanding, and managing your emotions, and recognizing, understanding, and managing the emotions of others. Now, if you put that in a marketing perspective, and if you don't understand your product, you don't know what you're selling, you can't sell it. So if you take an emotional intelligence twist to it, it's kind of like, imagine you go to a store and you're trying to buy a computer and you're asking the salesperson all these features. But you know for a fact that when they are talking to you, they know nothing about it. But they're trying so hard to sell it to you. Yeah. And you know, I have to give them credit for trying, but you can tell they know nothing. You can't sell something unless you know something about it. And emotional intelligence has to do with human perspective, with human emotions. If you know yourself, you can market yourself better. You can connect with others better. You can listen to others. You know where people are coming from. And Jay just spoke about ideas. People are able to connect with those ideas based on how he is going to relay those ideas. People can't connect with him unless they don't find some emotional connection. And if you see the best advertisements today, no one's selling their product, they're selling emotions. I mean, if you look at Coca-Cola, McDonald's, things like that, you'll see families, you'll see people happy, you'll see people, you know, like overjoyed and having a good time. No one's talking about the product. So unless you understand emotional intelligence, you won't understand the connection with marketing. So when I go over this session, I'm really excited because I've been teaching emotional intelligence for so many years. So the company that I founded is Libra Training, Coaching, and Consulting. We've had this for like 9 years. We've had 9 years of transformations. And just this year, we started our digital platform. Thanks to COVID, I would say thanks to it, because we'd never be online if it weren't for this. And now we've been taking our courses online. We've had clients coming to us to do live sessions and things like that. And it also took a lot of emotional intelligence to make that switch. So it's really important that people first understand the concept, then they can make that connection with marketing.
It's kind of strange that in many business-like environments, we don't value the emotional intelligence of our employees, for instance, also, and we don't reward them for that. We only look at the results, and I think that is a really wrong approach. So I'm glad you're going to talk about this, even with my children at school, they get rewarded for the things that I think which are totally not important, and the things that are important, they're not rewarded for that.
I mean, you know, results are good, rewards are good, but I think we have to change our perspective of how we start to look at things. And it starts with self-awareness, how you look at you, how you recognize your emotions, how you regulate them, how you're able to motivate yourself. Because if you can't start with you, you're not able to do that with others. And if people can't find that connection with you, they're not going to buy from you either. I mean, I would never sell to a client unless I've met my client. We've had clients who would keep coming to us and say, well, you know, just send us the invoice or just send us the pricing and tell us what it costs, and then we'll let you know. And I said, no, we don't do that. We used to do that when we first started out, because we were like, you know, we were still new. We wanted to be out there. No one knew who we were. And then as time went on, I said, no, I'm going to stop doing this. I have no problem saying no to a client who says, I just want your price. No, you don't want my price. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know if I'm a right fit for you, not the other way around. And I also want to know who you are. What are your pain points? How can I serve you? And how can I serve you at the highest level? And not just like cover a few things, but really make you feel as if you got value for your money and you get the results that you need. So for us, that's a huge thing. Anytime someone tells us, oh, we're just looking for 3 quotations and just send us, you know, you're just one of them, I'll say, all right, well, sorry, we need to meet first. I need to know who you are, because there's only so much you can learn from LinkedIn and Facebook and from their profiles, and that's important before you meet them. But unless you make that face-to-face connection, or now on Zoom, you know, I'm not selling to you, because I know the impact we make with emotional intelligence, and it's so important that we make that connection first. And if you don't make a connection with me, or you don't feel connected to me as a coach, as a trainer, then I shouldn't be selling to you, or I shouldn't be training to you, because that's gonna, like, you know, pile on. You're always gonna find something wrong with me. You know, that's how this works.
It's very interesting. But Sheetal, I'm curious, when you look at marketing in Suriname, would you say that we're using emotional intelligence enough in marketing, or we're hardly using it at all?
I think a lot of people are focused, like especially in the last couple of years, they're focused a lot on their reach online and how they're influencing others and how many likes they have and stuff. I kid you not, we only started paying attention to social media the past year. I mean, we always had our social media accounts, and, you know, we were on LinkedIn, we were on, in fact, LinkedIn is only recent. We were on Facebook for years, but we didn't put a lot of emphasis and focus on that, because most of our clients came from word of mouth. It's like they said, oh, we heard about you from this client and that client, and we heard what you did for them, and they felt, so what sold was the emotions that other people were feeling, and they said, I want to feel like that too.
Yeah.
And when people say, I want to feel like that too, they don't care if you're online or offline or, you know, things like that, or how many likes you have or how many followers you have. They want to know if you can make them feel that way as well. And that's what went on for us for so many years. That's how we got most of our clients. And sometimes, you know, I tell my husband's like, I'm kind of a little ashamed to say this, that we didn't do much work online. We've been doing this past year now. We've really been like, you know, working on the stories, and we've been working on our posts. I've been working on my own page and things like that, because we're like, all right, we need to make our presence. But I know that I didn't get most of my clients through that. I got most of my clients because I picked up the phone, or I said, I'm coming to your office. Let's have a chat. Let's talk. Let me know you. Let's find out what you need. And then we'll take it from there. And then you'll get my pricing. And then you can decide what you want to do. You know, I don't have a problem giving the pricing. I just want to know, I just want you to know who you are going to be dealing with. Because if I'm going to be sharing knowledge with you, you should want, you know, receive that knowledge from me. And I think that relationships work. You can't make, you know, you can't be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. It's just that's just how things are. So I'll be sharing a lot more during the session, but yeah, I'm very excited about this topic because I've been teaching about this for so many years, and I know it works. And yes, people in Suriname need to start paying attention to this and recognize that it's getting, you know, it's listening to your client, it's making those connections, it's really understanding them that will help you, you know, build a relationship with them for long term. This is not a short term thing. You want them to keep coming back to you and say, all right, we got the training from you, we're sticking, we're not going anywhere else. And I think that has a lot to do with emotional intelligence.
Well, Sheetal, when I'm listening to you right now, I'm already sold. Like, I could be signing up for one of your sessions next. So you've got me. When I see Jay nodding, and Jay's like, yes, yes, I agree. Preach, Sheetal. So let's go back to Jay. Jay, what will the key takeaways be for your session?
What I want people to do.
Austin, then. Sorry about that.
Dad. See, I'm trying to make the idea catch on. I also hope that they send me a little bit of maybe a free meal or something next time I'm down there. Look, it's really difficult sometimes to figure out how the definition of a good marketer, it seems to be moving a lot and move a lot. And I think a lot of times people will get overwhelmed by the platforms.
Yeah, I agree.
And understand the psychology of what makes word spread. And so I really hope that when people finish my session, I hope they leave with a better idea of the overall psychology of how things spread despite the platform, despite the technology.
Okay. So I hope you guys that are watching have heard what Jay's, what the takeaways will be of Jay's session. And if you weren't excited by just reading the description on the website, surely you're excited now. Sheetal, maybe you could tell us about the main takeaways of your session next week.
So the main takeaway, I'll start out with talking about emotional intelligence and what it is so that people understand, because I still feel that not everyone gets what it is, because emotional intelligence has so many different frameworks, and I'm just going to cover 4. And then I'll make that connection to marketing and branding and things like that, and how you can use that towards marketing your products, your services, how you connect with your clients and things like that.
Okay.
To keep it simple.
So, I mean, backstage, but did you hear any of that? Because I'm not sure how the backstage of StreamYard works.
Well, I'm gonna say that we're going into Sheetal's time. So before Sheetal leaves, I quickly want to show the program of Friday, the Friday program, and because yes, there is a lot that we talked about already. It's not fully content marketing. It's not just content marketing, but I quickly want to talk a little bit about Friday's program, because you already heard that Sheetal's session is much more than just only a progressive track. Progressive track meaning it's something that we know about, but we don't pay enough attention to. And also, it's not just about content marketing, because it entails basically your whole business is built around it. Madhu Matura, she's from the Netherlands. She will talk about how to adapt your content to changing customer behaviors, because that's something we also need. In some cases, you think like you know your customer, and then all of a sudden their behavior changes. They are interested in different things, and then you have to adapt your content. So that's something that she will talk about. And then we'll have the corporate track with Mike Alton. We quickly discussed him a little bit last week, but Mike Alton is the brand evangelist for Agora Pulse, and Agora Pulse is also sponsoring our conference, which is really cool. Agora Pulse is a really nice social media management tool, and they will be giving away a special prize during the conference, so make sure to check that out. But he will be talking about getting the ultimate ambassador program to build brand visibility. So this is a lot about influencer marketing, but he will also talk about influencer marketing from more a brand and an ambassadors program, instead of just somebody that has a big following. So how do you actually engage with influencers and ambassadors online as a company? So that will be a very interesting track. And then that will be followed up by Sheetal's track on the importance of emotional intelligence in marketing, which we briefly discussed, and hopefully everybody is excited as we are, because Sheetal, we are really excited about your session right now. So, and we
I'm
have to
excited.
yeah, and we have to wait until Friday. So that's even the worst part. It's the last day of the conference, so we have to keep our excitement for that. And then after the networking lunch will be a personal development session with Helio Puli, and Helio will be talking about the story behind what you see. There are a lot of billboards in Suriname that have been shot, the photos for the billboards that have been shot by Helio. There are a lot of Facebook posts that you see on Facebook or on social media, on Instagram, that you don't know that Helio is actually the photographer who took those shots. So he will be telling that story from a personal side as well. And then another international speaker, Marissa Kelly, she's from San Diego, and she's actually one of the people that helps people out with StreamYard, the program that we are currently using. People that use this program can contact her to get help to learn more about the program, and she will be talking about going live. And then, of course, there's an afternoon. It's the closing keynote of the conference, and we're not going to tell people yet. They're going to have to wait at least one more day to find out who the closing keynote for the conference is.
Sorry,
And
Jay.
yeah, and we're going to actually give away one of his best-selling books. So the closing keynote for this conference is a best-selling author, an international speaker. He's one of the most renowned social media marketing speakers in the world. And we actually ordered his book. So we're going to give some of his books away during the conference. And for the person who can guess actually who it is, we're also going to post that online. And the person who can guess who it is wins one of his books. So that's what I want to say. There will also be a closing off event, and that will be with Pres Yuriantje as MC. And for now, that's all I'm going to give away from now for the Friday side. And then, of course, I want to give Sheetal the opportunity to say goodbye, but also to have the last word when it comes to convincing why people should actually join the conference. So feel free, Sheetal, to give a short last message before you head out.
So before I go, if I haven't convinced you already, come. They're amazing speakers. This is my first time, so I was actually very happy with the invite. And I've seen the speakers that you've chosen. There are some great speakers for this conference. I don't think anyone should miss this. And please be there. I hope you come. I'm going to be teaching you something amazing. I know Jay is going to be teaching you something amazing. He's been here before. And I will see you all at the conference.
Thank you so much, Sheetal. Thanks for joining us. And of course, Jay, we're also going to share your day, which is the Wednesday. And that's also a very, very heavy program. So here we go. This is Wednesday. Am I sharing the right one? Let's quickly see. Yes, it's the Wednesday. And on Wednesday, which is the day that